Yes, cheers to everyone. Thank you for being here, and thanks to our grant recipients for being here to share their stories. So yeah, my name is Carter Macon, and I volunteered with the KBF for about 10 years now. And I wanted to quickly thank Danny for being here with us. And Danny, I'd love for you to just quickly share your story of how you got injured and how you first heard about the KBF.
Okay. Am I telling it to different people or the same people?
They're different people.
Okay.
So,
Go
yeah.
Some of us are the same, but there are a number of new folks in the audience as well, Danny.
Sweet. Well, I'll try and throw some extra details in there for you guys. My name is Danny Dabler, and I was injured on May 22nd of 2020, so last year. I was actually looking at my calendar, so today is 11 months. KBF, they were one of the first foundations that I applied for a grant for. A person that lives here in Oregon that also has a spinal cord injury, he reached out to me and told me that he was able to get a hand cycle through KBF, and so that's how I found KBF. I got when I was injured, I was in a motorcycle accident. I didn't tell you guys that last breakout session, so I figured Eric would appreciate that. I was in the hospital when COVID had just started, so I was in the hospital in rehab for about a month before I got to see any family or friends, and that was super difficult. And I can't relate to, or I can't agree with Edie more when she says that your rehab doesn't start until you get home, because it's like a totally different world when you get home. I don't think that I actually had even been able to process what had happened to me until late, until I got home. I mean, I would wake up and be like, okay, I'm paralyzed from my chest down, but there's no way this is real, that there's nothing. I've never been hurt bad enough that I couldn't heal from it, and I didn't understand it when they told me it was a spinal cord injury in the hospital the next day. When I was asking where my family was, I didn't know anything about it. I mean, it was a big change in my life, but as time has gone on, we're 11 months today. We keep climbing bigger hills and getting to the top, and the winds feel really good. And I'm happy to be here tonight with you guys sharing my story, and I'm super thankful for the grant I received. So I appreciate all of you guys, and thanks for having me.
That's so awesome. And I'd love to ask just one follow-up question, then I'll hand it over to Aaron and Eric, and would love for you guys to ask any questions that you have as well. But Danny, I know you received your hand cycle about 2 weeks ago, so I'd love to quickly ask how that's going. What's the hardest part of learning that new sport, but also the most exciting piece of it?
Okay. I have a question. Is that your boyfriend or husband?
Yes,
or
this is
what's
Logan.
his name? Hi, Logan.
Yeah.
Hi, good to meet you, Danny. I know my role here. I just sit quietly.
No, yeah, you asked me a question. I was like, man, I gotta know his name now. So, yeah. Wait, what was the question? I'm so sorry.
Okay, yeah, you got your hand cycle 2 weeks ago. What's the hardest part and most exciting part about it?
Well, I mean, when you take a bike and you put two wheels in the back of it, and then you take the pedals and you put it where the handlebars are, it becomes extremely hard to turn. So that's been a learning curve. I have this super steep driveway that goes into a busy street, and I was so excited. I was the day it came, I was sitting in it, ready to go, and thankfully it has a lot of brakes on it, because I got to the end of the driveway and realized that it's going to take a while before I learn before I learn my turning radius on this thing. But I took it to PT last Friday, and my PT guy we're working on practicing me being able to get in and out of it from my wheelchair by myself. And so that's super cool. I'd love to be able to get to the point where I could just hop in it. Well, I got a trainer for it too, like so I can set it up in my living room and watch Netflix and just go to town. So I'd love to get to where I could get into it by myself and
Yeah.
you know be working from home for 40 hours a week and just cranking out some Netflix and
Yeah.
cycle on lunch break.
Well, that's awesome. We're super excited to see what you do with your equipment.
Thank
Aaron,
you,
I want to
guys.
hand it over to you.
Yeah, thank you. So I've been on the advisory board, I guess, for about a year, and thrilled to be here. Erick is my guy tonight, and while I've heard his story, some of you have not. So Erick, why don't we start with your story and how you connected with the Kelly Brush Foundation? Then we'll maybe save room for a couple of questions before we go back to the main session.
All the way back to the injury, or?
Yeah, because some of the folks here haven't heard. Like Cheryl has, and Carter, and Logan and I have. That's right. Melanie missed the first go around. So
in 2002, I was riding with a friend of mine from my other friend's backyard. My friend was a professional rider, and so we could go anywhere in the hills without getting in trouble from his backyard. I didn't make it all the way out. I put myself into a 4-foot ditch on my head about as fast as I could go. And so again, life flight off to the hospital, and couple months later, some hardware. I was sent home, and I spent quite a few years just trying to figure out, what it is that life is about after that, because it's a full reset at that point. So, and then I just bounced around from different sports. I had a friend of mine that put me on one of his quads and went riding on that. So that was the proverbial horse that threw me. I was back riding again. Pretty much just started doing everything I could think of. From fishing to, I've ridden in a hand cycle, just not really got into it. Played rugby for a while, did a bunch of other little things here and there. I was my friend's mechanic while he rode professionally for another few years after my injury. But it was when my friend got out of prison, who got locked up at the same time I got hurt. He basically said, "We're going skiing." And fun part was I had a doctor's visit about 3 days before or something, and they gave me a call the day before I went skiing and said, "You broke your hardware in half." So I went up skiing with broken hardware, went once and just got hooked and had surgery, pulled it all out. Next year, started going more and just started going more and more and more. And the manufacturer of the ski chair ended up connecting me with Kelly Brush. Apparently I must ski well enough for that, but she told me to look into Kelly Brush and some other places and put it together a grant, and see if I can bend it over there. It is. Got myself some very expensive equipment.
That's so badass.
But it works. I ski about as hard as I can take it and see what more it'll let me do. So it's fun. It's something I went from doing nothing to, I'm going to be going Monday to go ski with some Paralympians.
that's
So
awesome,
Erick,
Erick.
sorry to interrupt. Can you put those different skis on that chair depending on the condition? Is that what that is?
Yeah, so it's got a foot plate that's kind of like a normal ski, and right now I've got 3 out of the 17 put together that I've got stacked up. But what's up, Daniel?
So do you get to buy your skis like half off, just one?
So
It's a good question.
Because
I
then
had some
maybe
really
I
good
can
advice
afford
from
them
one
on
of
a ski.
I had a program coordinator up at Bear Mountain who runs their disabled program give me an idea, which was just try the companies out and see if their warranty department had anything that was still good. You got 2 skis, you ruin one, you send the other one back. So
Yeah, or
I
from
said
now
I'll-
on, like when you buy a set of skis, like you can just send me the other one. And then next year,
I love
I'll
it.
roll a
I
Smart
got some
thinking,
time.
Jerry.
I destroyed about 4 skis at the disabled program, but I haven't broken any yet. I've tried. I've really, really tried. So, but yeah, if you need skis, I can try and find people to help you out.
right on.
Bindings is the hard one because they have to be really, really high-end race bindings so you don't come out.
Yeah, that
Well, I
would
love
be-
it. We have time for probably 1 or 2 really quick questions. Does anyone want to be brave and jump in here? Do you want to ask a question?
Danny, where are you in Oregon?
Salem.
In Salem, and what's the terrain? Did you say the hand cycle that's for road or that's
It's set
off-road?
for road, but I got some all-terrain tires for it. So we're definitely gonna give that a shot. I've heard it's pretty difficult. I was super into mountain biking and road biking before my injury. But everything here, it's like you do a lot of climbing before you get to go downhill. And I've heard that climbing on the hand cycles is pretty difficult without the like e-assist. And that was kind of out of my price range at the time. And so I figured let's get started with a road bike and crank out some miles and see how that goes. And then maybe adjust, or at least I can have someone like haul that thing to the top of the hill and I can ride it down. That's my favorite part anyways. I hate riding up the hill. So
Eric, quickly, we know we have limited time. You were mentioning that, the first couple of years were just, you were trying to reset and figure everything out. And it seems like right now you're really in a good place. Is that right?
I have my days.
That's a good pithy answer. And with that, I think we're about to get kicked out. So Danny and Eric, thank you. And Carter, thank you. And everyone else for tuning in. So
Thank
see you
you
back
all.
in the
Thank you.
next show.
Thank you, guys.